people kidnapped before electronics were around.
Before electronics were around, they didn't have card teams that could come in and figure out what phones were used, what Wi-Fi's were in the area.
Right.
Now, mind you, it was said that there were only, 2 exterior internet sources that came in and out of the area that night. Mm-hmm. And isn't it funny how one person said one of them was his?
Yeah, that would be a little weird, for sure.
Oh, it got quiet real quick on that one.
I answered.
I don't think I understand what you're. I'm sorry. I don't understand what you're saying. That's why I'm quiet. I'm sorry. I don't get it.
He's saying supposedly on the night that Sebastian disappeared, they go through and they check like all the Wi-Fi in the area, and there was only 2 Wi-Fi's that came in that area and left that area. Like 2 open networks, 2 traveling Wi-Fi's came in and left.
Okay.
And apparently Chris claims one was his truck.
That night?
They did the search for that night. So.
Why would Chris's truck be there?
I mean...
this is the first time hearing of this, so that's why I'm like, what?
Me too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't really comment on it because I don't know anything about it.
Well,
it could have been the 25th through the 26th. I don't know. I mean...
25th through 26th still means that, allegedly, he wasn't in town.
I mean,
the 26th
he would have been. Right.
Oh, right. The 26th he would have been. But if I'm not mistaken, I think the comment went something like, "Those dumb assholes didn't even know that it was my truck."
That was credit to Elevated Truth's panel on Thursday, December 19th. CP jumped on the panel, and here is what he had to say.
I told you that my truck was in that neighborhood the night Sebastian went missing or the night before.
That's not what was said. What was said was, you said that your truck's Wi-Fi was in the cart when the cart team did their thing on the 25th or the 26th. And I also restated that it could have very well been when you came home after Sebastian went missing.
So that would have to been the 26th when I got to my house.
That's what we said.
That's what we said.
Chris. That's exactly what we said.
Yeah, I said it has to have been when he was coming home from the work site.
That's what was said.
My truck wasn't in the area, the vicinity. The FBI knows this. So don't speak of my truck being in that vicinity, that area, until the 26th at 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
That's what we said.
Well, not the time frame, but...
Not the time frame. No, the time. But what we said was that they did it for the 25th and the 26th. So it's just as much likely that it was when he came in after Sebastian went missing.
Yeah, and that's why I was confused, because I was like, what? And then that's why I said it had to have been when he came home.
Well, the problem is you get a bunch of people out here, you say one thing, you mean one thing, and this, that, and another, and then it runs wild like a fucking brush fire that goes crazy.
It's true.
And here we are. We're 10 months into this. We got no leads. We got nothing. But yet we got another team over here that's out here just throwing shade left and right and a bunch of crap.
That's what we're talking about. We think it's very dangerous. People are being thrown under the bus, and nobody seems to fucking care.
Who's in the back chat?
But if I'm not mistaken, I think the comment went something like, "Those dumb assholes didn't even know that it was my truck."
Welcome in, everyone. That was from Elevated Truth podcast. Please go over and sub to them. It was from Thursday, December 19th, yesterday. Today is Friday, December 20th. They were discussing the Sebastian Rogers case, and CP came on the panel to discuss his truck. Allegedly, according to Truth, you heard what he allegedly said to Truth is, "Those dumb a-holes don't even know one of them was my truck. And allegedly, according to CP, he does not want his truck discussed, where it was, when it was, how it was, and it was not there, and he does not want that up for discussion. Where was the truck, in your opinion? So apparently, there were 2 Wi-Fi connections going in and out, and according to this, CP told truth, that they didn't even know one of them was his. Was one of them CP's? Was he there? Was it his Wi-Fi on his truck that was picked up? It was quite a panel yesterday. It was actually very good to hear from CP and get some questions answered. My question to you is, do you think we heard the truth or fabrication? The truth or fabrication? It got a little crazy in there last night. He was quite defensive, in my opinion. I would love to hear him speak a tad bit more about Sebastian. We all need to be speaking more about Sebastian. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He was reported missing February 26, 2024. He was in the home of his stepfather and mother. His mother was allegedly home alone with him. His stepfather was allegedly in Memphis. That's why this discussion got so explosive, in my opinion, because he does not want his truck to be discussed that it was there when he is saying he was in Memphis. Now, what we do know is that they can, of course, do a ping and pick up the Wi-Fi and all of that that's pinging the area. But we also know that satellite imagery and other sort of surveillance and investigative techniques could be used, have been used, and most likely are being used. So no matter whose vehicle pinged where, they also have a backup of satellite imagery and other investigative techniques that they are using. So whoever's Wi-Fi's were picked up, they will be able to identify exactly whose vehicles they were, as well as get an image through satellite imagery and see the vehicles themselves. Because the more they can put the pieces together, a Wi-Fi hit, ping, as well as a satellite imagery, it will be solid evidence as to whose vehicles were in that neighborhood. That is essential to the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He was 15 when he was reported missing almost 10 months ago. In 6 days, it will be 10 months. We need to find Sebastian. We need to bring him home. Prayers up for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Is there something in the truck? What would the defensive reaction? Is the black truck of CP's one of the 2 that pinged at the house that night on February 25th, Sunday? Or was it not his? But we do know there's backup investigation, such as satellite imagery, because they have showed us they are using it, and other investigative techniques. May this all lead to the safe rescue of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Explosive panel last night. Go listen to it if you have not. Elevated Truth. Thank you so much for hosting that panel. I think it brought out a lot of information as well as some things that were not true, in my opinion. Talk soon, friends.